So I'm a 15-year survivor, and Susan Komen really helped me when I was newly diagnosed. I was very young, and I was 43, and it's aggressive when you're young like that. So they were very helpful to me, and I'm just, again, honored to do anything I can. I met Sharon Schlesinger right when before I was diagnosed, and she had told me she was a breast cancer survivor. And then when I got diagnosed, I did some fundraiser with my families and friends. It's called the Beach Cup, where we hiked, because every day after radiation, I took a long hike or a run, and it really helped me. We did the Beach Cup, which is the double D's went all the way over. It was about a 7-8 mile hike, and that double A's just did a little baby hike. So it was super fun, and we try to do that every year. And since being diagnosed, I formerly had sold a commercial real estate company and have just reinvented my life as my kids have gotten out of the house. And cooking remains always the way to show love to people. And we're happy to share this with you today. So here we go. We are going to do zucchini 2 ways. I'm in California. It's still quite warm, and I have a little garden out there, and the zucchini went crazy. And so I'm done with it. It's going to be getting pulled out. Hopefully today, if I get time, I'm going to rip it out. But we're going to do zucchini 2 ways, so for warm weather and cool weather. So the first one is stuffed zucchini, and the second one is zucchini carpaccio, which is so easy. We're going to do it in about 5 minutes. So the first recipe we're doing, and I hope you have it on it's part of it's attached to the conference, both of the recipes. So first, we are going to stuff the zucchini. So first what you do is you pre-cook the zucchini. You have them, and I wanted just to show you how to do that. It's not hard, but it's, just want to show you how to do it. So you just take your zucchini after you've washed it, cut it in half, and you just take a melon ball or a spoon. You can do it however you want. And you just scoop the flesh out, and till you leave about 1/4 inch on the sides, just like you see on the stove there. All these out. These I've, so you can see. And then I'll just save this and put it in some stock or something like that. Then this was the flesh of all the 4 zucchini that are called for in your recipe. Just chop it up a little bit more fine. Easy. And then we are going to take the zucchini that we have here. We are going to just heat up some olive oil. You can just use any old olive oil. On our carpaccio, well, you want to use extra virgin olive oil, but don't go crazy when you're just cooking and sauteing things, because it's not worth it. However, on the carpaccio, the olive oil is a really big ingredient, so you're going to want to use your best olive oil. My company is Tuscan Women Cook. We have an immersion cooking experience in Tuscany, and not this year, but the last 20 years. And we cook in the mornings with our nonas. So the company's called Tuscan Women Cook because it's our nonas, the grandmas who teach the classes. So it's a really wonderful, wonderful experience. And our cookbook's coming out at the end of the year as well. You go to our website, TuscanWomenCook.com. You can get a preview, and there's a cookbook link, and you'll get notified when our cookbook comes out. Bringing that up because we have access to some really good olive oils. So this is one of our agriturismos that we go to, and this is an extra virgin olive oil. So when you're making salad dressings or things like that, and you may know this, but just use your best, because that flavor is really going to come out. So we're just going to get these onions going. I like to use cast iron because, one, I know what it is. You also get some extra minerals. When you have cancer, you're always looking for ways to be healthy. We never know how we got it, why we got it. I think it was stress, if I had to guess. A lot of the events I've done for Susan Komen, I always ask the people and the speakers or the participants how they think, do they know when they got cancer? And almost everybody can say, you kind of do. So it's a very informal little poll of mine, but really important to do what you need to do. And I remember everyone saying, oh, this is your journey. And I was really bothered me when people said that. But I realized now it was a journey and everyone has to do it their way. So if you are in the middle of it right now and you're metastatic and you're going through it, some of these recipes are just going to be, if somebody's cooking for you, it's super accessible. You have everything at home. I'm not trying to, make stews with the eye of the newt or anything like that. So real easy. So we're just going to get these going. The oven's still on because once we stuff those, we're just going to pop them back in and get the cheese all melted and lovely and delicious. So these need a few more minutes. I like the onions to be really soft because sometimes the white onions have a really pungent flavor if you don't cook them all the way down. So we have also about 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, more or less. And again, none of this has to be rocket science. So I'm going to get the garlic going just till it's fragrant, yummy, delicious, but not burned. The worst smell and flavor in the world is garlic that got burnt. So now we're going to take the flesh that we've chopped, put it in here, get it all melded together. One of the other things, being so fortunate to go to Tuscany, we go in the spring 6 weeks and the fall 6 weeks and take our guests, and we get to see the olives being pressed and going through the press and the actual olives that are, and seeing it separated, and they use the must from the olives. And in Italy, and I hope the world, they do not waste any food. And this recipe is about that as well, because I see a lot of stuff, zucchini recipe, and they don't use the flesh. They're just using the bones, as you will. But I don't want to do that, because this would be a lot to waste, and it's delicious. So there's no reason to do that. And so we'll let this cook up for another minute or so. I know that if you're in New York, it's a little bit colder than it is right now in California. If it ever gets cool in California again, but this is a really nice thing. Your house is going to smell delicious and welcoming the autumn season into your home. So we're just cooking this up. I have ideas about if the first person who, and maybe anyone, if you post one of these recipes that we make today, you will get a Tuscan Women Cook dish top. And these are the good ones because they're like that, I forget what it's called, the sackcloth, I think it is. And they're really absorbent and they work really well. So send us your photo and we will send you, and we need your address, and we'll send you a dish top. All right, so these are good. See how easy that is? Super fast. And you're just gonna let it take it off the heat a little bit. And I'm pretty lazy, so I'm just going to pour this back into the bowl that I used because I don't want to wash another dish. So put this in here, put all of that good stuff in there. All right, I'm going to bring these over. Actually, okay. So in your recipe, you saw that there is a 2/3 cup of Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to use half of that, approximately, and 2/3 cup of panko. You can also use breadcrumbs, whatever you have at home. I have panko. So again, I'm going to take half of that. I've got some parsley and oregano and rosemary somewhere. Here it is. We're just going to chop this up, not crazy. Doesn't have to be too minced or perfect. So I had to pre-do the onions because they made me cry so badly that it's a mess. So that's why I pre-chopped the onions. Otherwise, I would have just done it with you. And here's your, I said oregano, but I meant thyme. So it's thyme. You could use oregano too, and that's a pretty Italian flavor. So that would be very authentico in our little village. We stay in a village called Montefollonico, which is just about an hour from Florence and about a 2.5 hours from Rome. So we're just right in the heart of Tuscany, and just a beautiful walled village where our nonas have been teaching food for generations and generations. So, all right, and I ended up put a little rosemary in there. And you probably know this trick, you just peel it right off the stalk. Keep a little bowl in your, for your discards, and when I'm conscientious of it, I try to save stuff and make vegetable stock so that you always have some, like you do with the chicken, right? Even the roasted chicken from the supermarket, you can use it how you are and how you normally would, and then throw your kind of wilted carrots and lettuce or celery and onion, and just mix it all together. Need a spoon, and I need a spoon from over there. Sorry, forgot the spoon. Sorry, and just mix this all up. I'm not going to salt this today because there's a lot. We're going to use Parmesan a fair amount and probably some mozzarella, and there's a fair amount of salt in that. So I love salt, and I'm not saying not to use it, but just for this purpose, I think there's enough salt in the Parmesan to give it a nice little flavor. All right, so then we just scoop this in, and like I said, this is not brain surgery. These boats have been pre-cooked, but not all the way through because you're going to cook them for another, 20 minutes or so to blend the flavors. So it's that. We use a lot of zucchini in Italy too because it grows so abundantly there. In this California, we have a similar climate to Tuscany, without all the history and beauty and culture, but we do have a similar with the wines. It's similar terroir, the ground that the grapes grow in. Except I'm hearing in California right now, especially up north, the grapes have really been compromised because of the ash from the fires. So we will see what 2020 brings for our wines, most importantly. And in our trip, we do a lot of wine tasting. We go to wineries. We watch the winemaker tell us all about it. So it's a really fun thing to do, and you can tell I miss it right now. So I'm going to next mix the other half of the panko and the parm, and I'm going to mix it with my hands because I can. And just going to sprinkle this on top. I also would we'll do it at the end. I like to put a little drizzle of olive oil on there. So I'm not even going to use all of this, so just note to self, you need it. But what I am going to do is I did have this mozzarella that somebody brought me that they made, so I'm going to use it because I need to. So we're just gonna, you can do this. The other thing with this recipe is so versatile. I actually have some. I didn't want to do it because it's not vegetarian, but you could use the Impossible sausage, Italian sausage, or regular. Use regular sausage if you eat it, and which I do eat meat, but if you don't and you're not eating meat right now, I really only eat meat in Italy because it's so clean. So, but that sounds a little pretentious, so I don't want it to sound like that. So that looks fabulous. And now someone will get this nice big melty piece. This is going in for about 20 minutes. Phone's being utilized, so I'm going to use the old-fashioned timer. Do that for about 20 minutes, and it's at 375 approximately. My oven comes and goes, it's a little old. So next, what we're going to do is make the zucchini carpaccio. And this is the most simple recipe you'll probably ever make in your entire life. It is a good way to use up that zucchini. And I have made it with the ones from my garden. If you've grown them ever, it's like the bully of the garden. By the time you find a zucchini under there, they're this big, and they're generally a little dry. So I didn't use those for this because the zucchini is so important. All it is zucchini, olive oil, lemon, and Parmesan, a little scrape of Parmesan. So we're going to, you could do this a couple ways. The easiest way, and if you have a mandolin, you could use it, but you can just slice them into rounds, or, which is the fastest, easiest thing to do, which is also good. Or you can make zucchini ribbons. So if you make the ribbon, take the first layer off, and then you just go as you go. And you'll just get these beautiful ribbons that you can just place on there. So I just wanted to show you how to do that. It's really easy and really pretty. So we can just make the salad while we're cooking. I don't know if you've ever done that. And again, you can do this on a mandolin, but I have lost some digits, and I got a new one, so I'm a little afraid of it. So this one, so we'll just use a couple zucchini. Depends on how many. This recipe calls for 4 to 6. And you can play with this however you want. You can add to it. You can, this is just a basis for a really delicious salad that takes nothing. So that's that. So if anybody has any questions, happy to answer them. So here we go. Plate these a little pretty. I guess on Zoom you can't fast forward. And when you're making these ribbons, you don't want to get too much of the seeds in there. So this one kind of overdid. But we have more. So the other thing that we have in common with survivors and people that have cancer is the support that you have. And the support you get from Coleen and other groups, I really encourage you to do it, take it, because I was a person, maybe I still am, but I don't ask for a lot of help. And I did reach out, and it changed my life, really. So, like I said, I had a commercial real estate company, and it was very high stress and, high finance kind of a thing. And I just finally said, I don't want to do this anymore. And so kind of put it out there that I wanted to start a new career. And that's how Tuscan Women Cook came into my life 5 years ago. So it worked out really well. And when you have cancer, sometimes pushes the agenda faster than it would if you didn't. So I'm with you on your journey and your path of health and recovery. So I want you to know that, and I'm here for you for any questions. One of the best pieces of advice I got was as soon as you get diagnosed, you call the person that you know that had it, right? Because everybody, we know somebody that's had it all over the world. And she said to me, which seemed so crazy, she said, the first thing you need to do is get a notebook, a 3-ring binder. It's like, that seems really, kind of, I don't know, pedestrian right now. I'm kind of doing something else. She said, you'll trust me. And it was really, really good advice, because you're not thinking, it's a blur. And if you come back from these appointments and you can put this stuff in your notebook and look back at it later, really, really helpful. So I know it's simple, but sometimes the best advice is simple, like food. So I'm going to use all these, by the way. I'm going to make a stock out of it. And you don't have to, they don't have to be perfect. And that is how I cook, not perfect, but easy and healthy. So there we go. So I'm just, to make it easy, just going to do a bed of the zucchini ribbons, and then we'll just top it with the rounds. So there we go. Got better as they put it together. All right. So this is a little round. Our zucchini is melting. I watched a cooking show which I don't watch a lot of cooking shows, and I really should because my knife skills are awful. So I read that it was Ruth Reichel. It wasn't a cook. It was something I read of hers, and she said her knife skills are awful too. So then I felt like I was in good company. All right, so you get the drift on this. Well, I might as well cook them off so we can have this for lunch. Looks absolutely good, delicious. So on this one, I'll check my timer. 10 or 12 more minutes on that. So double check. I'll use up this zucchini and save that other one. You know, the nonas too is another funny thing. Their knives are like the steak knives that your grandma had that have the wooden handle and they're really small. And you know, my guess, we just make sure they don't get cut because they're so dull, and the nonas don't care. They've been using them for 50 years, and that's how it's going to be. So, all right. And no, I'm not Italian. I just have been fortunate enough to be part of this company, and own the company actually. So I have already, we did a Coleman event on Saturday, and I made a lemon juice, lemon and olive oil. I thought I could use this jar again, but maybe I'll here we go. But I just want to show you how easy this is. So you're just going to cut your lemon in half. It's the juice of one lemon. And I'm going to do it right in here, which is probably not smart, but that way, because I don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to squeeze the lemon. Also, I have conflicting reports. Some people say put them in like this. Other people say put them in upside down. It's juice out of this lemon. It actually came off the tree, and it's very warm, so that's really nice. Sometimes people put their lemons and limes in the microwave to soften them and get more juice out of it. So I hear that's a really good trick. I'm actually going to cut it. Get it a little bit easier to smush. Just gonna get that in there. There we go. So we have more than we need now, but I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to put a little pepper in this just to give it some flavor. And more olive oil. So back to the olive oil. This is a really, really good olive oil, and just use the best you can possibly get because this is all there is. And that's the only real flavor that you're going to get. So this guy is my best. And since I haven't been able to go this year, I'm hiding it actually from my family. So I want to see it in a, French fries or something. All right, so I'm just going to shake this up. And again, we have more than we need. So that looks good. I love the way that looks. So we're just going to just drizzle this on pretty generously because it'll cook up a little too. And then just this is optional. Just take your handy little peeler that you've been using all day and just peel some good parm. The Reggiano is good. You can use these little strips like this, or you can you can use grated. The grated, here's a good little tip. The grated, you can get the good Parmesan Reggiano at Costco and then put it in your food processor, and then you have your own. And you have a lot of it. So, what am I doing over here? Yeah, okay. I was going to, I think I'm going to put a little more pepper on this. So, that dish is done, and I think it took 7 minutes. So, that is easy. Done. And so, we have a few more minutes. I'm going to check these guys, see how they're doing. Oh, they're looking good. You can smell it. I wish you could smell it. Just getting melted, and probably just need just about 5 more minutes on that. I set the timer for 20, but I think 15 to 20 just depends on what you need. All right. So again, post us your photos of these, and we will send you a Tuscan Women Cook dish towel. Nice one. I would be happy to answer any questions or any emails. Email me at Coleen at TuscanWomenCook.com. Go to our website, TuscanWomenCook.com, and you'll see what we do. It's a really good, it's a very in-depth explanation of what we do. It's pretty unique. So we're really excited to go back. So we just hope you're all safe out there. It's another, when you have the diagnosis, it's like another thing to have to worry about. So you're probably really at home, and I hope you're not isolating and just maybe Zooming your family or your friends or anyone that you can. There's some really great resources online right now to keep you busy. And if you are a cook, there's this thing called Yes Chef, and you can go on that, and the premier chefs will do a little class. So I think the first one is free. So you might want to check that out. And I'm not affiliated with that at all, but I found it really interesting when we're all stuck at home to kind of keep your passions going. And, cooking for other people is always helpful. And now that we have these grocery delivery, online everything, in some ways it's a little bit easier than you having to brave the supermarket if you're not feeling well. Or if your family member is cooking for you and marketing for you, they've gone to the market, and that can be scary. So, just really want you to be happy and well and healthy on your journey. Sometimes medications really mess us up, and, we maybe lose some taste. And so sometimes just the smell of things, even some garlic in a pan to kind of stimulate your olfactory senses and your smell. My next door neighbor has 4 kids under the age of 4, and I like to cook, and my kids are out of the house now. And so I make a lot of food, and I send it over the wall to her, and then she'll put in a little pan of olive oil, some garlic. And so her husband thinks she's been cooking all day. And so it's our little secret. So do not tell. All right, these guys are ready to come out. And you want to test it. I forgot to mention that. Put a little toothpick in there. To test the zucchini for doneness. And you want it to be really soft. These are nice. They're really good. So, if you can see that. Is that good? We use our feet a lot in cooking. All right, so that's it. That is our zucchini 2 ways, stuffed for the cooler weather, autumn's coming, yay, and for the warmer weather, zucchini carpaccio. Thank you. And on Wednesday, we have another dish coming up. We're super excited about it, and you can see what we're doing. We're going to have 2. We're either going to grill some fish, or we're going to do a lentil lettuce wraps with roasted vegetables and sauteed vegetables. So come back. Can't wait to see you again. Thanks. Did you end it?
Leave webinar.